To compete in the smartphone world today, you need to have a niche. And if you're Razer, a gaming company, logically, you select gaming. This is Razer's first smartphone, the Razer Phone. And yep, it's a gaming phone. So is it any better than gaming on any other Android smartphone? Let's find out. You'll recognize the very familiar Razer logo, but you'll also notice that the phone isn't green, which is very much a Razer thing. They've actually gone pretty restrained for the design of this, although it is quite a large block of phone. If you're thinking this looks familiar, it's because Razer acquired a phone company called Nextbit. And if you remember the Nextbit Robin, it had a very similar design. Well, they haven't changed much after getting together with Nextbit. On the rear, this is a really smooth, soft touch metal unibody. On the side is your power and sleep wake key. And it's inside this that you'll get the fingerprint sensor. And it's a touch to open the device. This is a 5.7-inch touchscreen, and it's bookended by two stereo speakers, and each of them has got its own amps. They're super loud. We'll come back to those in a short while. As you can see, this is a pretty large phone, and it's a stretch to get my thumb across the other side of the screen. It's definitely a two-handed device. It runs Android, and it uses the Nova launcher over the top, and it's pretty close to standard Android. Inside is a Snapdragon 835 processor and 8 GB of RAM. There's absolutely loads of power. To make sure you've got that ultimate gaming experience, it's done something very special with the screen. The screen is 5.7 inches, it's a 1440p resolution, but it's the world's first with 120 Hz refresh rate. Now what that means is that everything appears smoother. You don't get as many jerks, you don't get as much tearing in the image, you get a much more realistic gaming look. Does it work? Yeah, it really does. Part of this is because of this app which Razer installs. It's called Game Booster, and it supercharges your game performance. We're going to show you Reckless Racing 3. And if you'll notice here, we can adjust the frame rate. Some Android games allow you to do this, but not all. Reckless Racing 3, thankfully, does. You can also adjust the game so that you'll use less battery. It lowers the performance of the CPU, and you can stick it right up to the top so you get 120 Hertz refresh rate, and it uses all of the processor's power. So what does this look like? Well, it looks like this. We go into the game and we go back to start one off. If you look carefully at the game, we've compared this with various other phones that also run the Snapdragon 835 processor. It's incredibly smooth. Even with everything going on screen, there's a beautiful look to the screen that you simply don't see on other Android smartphones. The 120 Hz refresh rate really makes a difference. It's not just a gimmick, it's a reason to buy the phone, if you're a gamer. You probably also heard there the pretty amazing speakers on here. They're incredibly loud. Loud to the point where you wouldn't want to have this at full volume in public. That's half volume. It's really impressive, and again, adds that extra dimension of fun for your gameplay. Gaming is the reason you'll buy this phone. At the moment, the camera is not the reason you'll buy this phone. There's two lenses in the back. One's a telephoto lens, they're both 12 megapixels. But at the moment, Razer hasn't implemented all of the features, so it's just a camera. It doesn't do anything special yet. In the future, that's going to change. But at the moment, it's really not the best aspect of the phone. Audio is a massive part of gaming, movies, and all those other interactive experiences. So what Razer has done is put dual stereo speakers with their own amp onto the front of the device. They're huge and they're incredibly loud. That's not the only special audio part of this phone. It's also the first THX certified device, and although it's not got a 3.5mm headphone socket, they give you one of these, a dongle, don't we love those, in the box. And this is a DAC, a digital to analog converter, and it plugs into the USB socket at the bottom, and into here you plug your headphones, just like you would on any other phone without a 3.5mm headphone socket. With your headphones plugged into the dongle, this is where you'll get your THX certified audio. And audio performance is actually really good. We've been listening to it with a variety of different headphones. Sounds great. But it is a shame that there's no 3.5mm headphone socket. There's also no aptX HD for Bluetooth. So yeah, it's an audiophile phone, but pretty specific. This device is $700 or £700 in the UK. It is fairly pricey and it is very large, but it is nicely designed, we think. It's quite a funky look. Definitely won't be mistaking it for anything else on the market. If you're into gaming, and particularly if you're getting into mobile esports, you're going to want to have the best phone available to play those games on. And even in our short time playing games that we enjoy, the Razer Phone has definitely stood out as one that we want to play more games on. We often mention that about cameras. If a camera's great, we want to take more photos. Well, the gaming is so good that we want to play more games. That's pretty important, particularly if you're spending $700 on a phone. So should you get the Razer Phone? If you're a gamer, believe me, you're going to want to game on the Razer Phone. The experience is fantastic and way better than we've had on any other Android smartphone. But do make sure you hold it and try it out as a smartphone before making that decision, because it has its little special aspects that are only Razer Phone because of this bulky design. But otherwise, try this out if you like mobile gaming. It's the Razer Phone, and you can read all about it on Digital Trends right now.